So we're on our way to the airport. It's been probably about a month since the second episode of Agoraphobic Abroad, where we went to Greece. And as soon as we got back from that, we booked another flight to Germany. We're going there for my grandmother's 80th birthday. And usually I would have not even considered going. But after doing this last trip, I think it's really important to keep up the pace and keep doing these uncomfortable things. So we're at the gate now. We're waiting to board. As you can see out there, some planes. I'm actually exhausted. It's a really hot day. We've been walking around for ages and I am feeling quite nervous. I am quite anxious about it. I'm trying not to let the thoughts take over, and instead I'm trying to think, okay, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I have all these anxious thoughts, but what can I do instead? And in this case, I've got some work to do I can do on the plane. Once we get in the air, I'll get a nice cold drink. I'll watch some TV show I like or something like that. And so I'm just thinking the things that I can do and the things that I'm about to do, so that I don't just spend my time worrying about like all the negative worries that I have in my head.
Freezing outside, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa.
The initial delay was due to us arriving at the aircraft a little bit late.
I'm very nervous. So we are seated now. I thought I would be like a lot more not caring, but to be honest, I am very quite anxious and nervous. This time we've got a window seat right here above the wing. Just thinking about all the cool footage I can get, you know, rather than thinking other stuff. I have like this anxiety feelings, like I don't want to do it and I want to get off, and it's a bad idea and stuff like that, but I know that it's just feelings, it doesn't mean anything, and you know, the body reacts to these feelings, and it's gonna make me feel more anxious and maybe some even physical symptoms. It's just about rephrasing it and understanding where they're coming from and why, and realizing that, hey, everything's okay. Everyone around, the flight attendants look calm and happy. Just, it's another day at work for them. It's literally, I heard someone say, like, for the flight attendants, this is just their office that they go to every day. It just happens to be in the sky. Thinking things like that helps me as well. You know, realizing the normality of things. Because I know with anxiety it can be easy to feel like your normal things are hard to do. Realizing how people are able to do these things naturally every day, and you're no different than them, so you can do it as well. So I'm excited for takeoff.
A very good afternoon to each and every one of you. Now we are airborne. It's time for me to introduce myself. My name's Dara. I'm your senior crew member on board today's flight. Over to Frankfurt.
It's fine.
I'd like to give a very special welcome to
So we're up in the air now, and the seatbelt signs are off. I definitely still have this like disconnect. Like when I look out the window, it's like it's just weird. It's like we shouldn't be flying. Like my brain finds it hard to comprehend. Yeah, I was quite nervous, still quite anxious, but just let it happen. Okay, so I thought I would just make an update because it's like 20 minutes after we've taken off, and obviously at the beginning I was very nervous, I was scared and I was anxious, and all the noises and stuff were quite scary for me. But now we've been flying for like 20 minutes or so, and I got my laptop out, I started doing some work, and I kind of just felt normal. I felt like I was in an office and I was just like, oh, I'm just working away and editing this video, and then I kind of realized like, wow, like I would never expect to feel like that going on a plane, because in my head I expect the whole journey to be this torturous thing where I'm constantly shaking. And the fact that I was now in the air, just chilling, going on my laptop, looking out the window, and I kind of forgot I was even flying, if that makes sense. So I just hope that when you're thinking about that, when you're thinking about doing this scary thing, and in your head it's all like, oh, it's just going to be this torturous process and it's going to be terrible the whole time. That's just what you're thinking. That's not necessarily true. I'm feeling excited.
Everyone from the flight deck. A quick update for you on our progress towards Frankfurt this afternoon. We just began our initial descent a moment ago. At the moment, we should be touching down in probably 35 minutes from now. That means we'll be landing just before 5 o'clock.
Did he just say he's doing this? We're descending already? Okay, so this is probably like the quickest flight I've ever been. It literally feels like we just took off, and then I just started chilling, and now he's already talking about descending and going to land. So that's very interesting. So that was probably the best flight I've ever had. It started a little bit scary at takeoff. I had like this bad feeling like something bad was going to happen. And I kind of rationalized, like I knew that was anxiety and it can make you be convinced of things. But I think this is one of the best flights I can remember in a long time. So we've made it now to Frankfurt, and we've just drove a bit out into Erlensee, I think it's called. Please forgive my pronunciation, even though I'm half German. My dad never taught me it, which I'm still upset about. But we're in the most amazing little town, and it's so beautiful. And right now we're going for a walk, and back at home I would never go for like walks in the woods like this, but right now it feels perfect, if I admit. So yeah, I don't have much to say, to be honest, except for today has been really good. I mean, the flight was amazing. We literally went up. I don't know if I think it's just because It might be because it was such a short flight. So I really actually would recommend, if you are worried about flying or if you have anxiety, try a short flight like this. It was so much easier than I thought. But then again, if you watched the last episode when we were delayed for 4 hours, doing this flight in comparison to that, I'm kind of glad I went through that because this was so easy. Oh, to be honest, I think it was a bit too short. I didn't get time to even do a lot of work on there. I got my laptop out and then they were like, oh, we're going to land. And I had just, anyway. We're going to walk through the woods and I'll show you a little bit of what's around us. It's pretty beautiful. I'm here with my dad, my uncle and my girlfriend, and yeah, I think we're going to start doing a lot more stuff, a lot more fun things, rather than just staying home being afraid of everything. And if I can do that, you can too. And your time is coming. But just keep tagging along with me, and whenever you feel ready, then you can do the same. By the way, I still am having actually loads of ectopics and skipped heartbeats and all of that stuff. But I guess the difference is I'm not having the initial, the instant reaction, the fear that comes with it. Even though we're out in an open space in the woods, it's not shocking me as much. So I think what I used to do is use the ectopics and the skip heartbeats as an excuse not to go outside and do things. And so you don't give yourself the chance to actually see what happens if you do go outside. And then you end up being more scared than you usually would. And because your attention is focused inwards into your body and your heart and stuff, then you notice them more and your attention is on them. Whereas if your attention was on everything outside that you're doing, you wouldn't notice them. And I think because right now I'm used to noticing them so much, I'm like shifting back to putting my attention on the outside. And so I kind of can still feel them, but I don't really notice them until I start paying attention. So my uncle has this dog called Lena, and the moment I walked into the house, she's barking and barking, woof, woof, woof. And for some reason, I don't know why. Usually I'm like the dog whisperer. Like dogs love me, and I'm really can connect to them quickly. But she seems to be terrified of me. It's interesting because this is like the most anxious dog I've ever seen. Reminds me of me a little bit. But as we're walking, like the same with me, as I start to get, walking and embracing the surroundings and things, so is she. And she's just kind of walking there, rolling in the grass, doing all this kind of stuff, and looking actually happy. And she actually hasn't come near me. Every time I got close, she ran away. But I had a little treat for her, and I just held it and waited and waited for her to get her own trust, rather than me going and making her trust me. And she eventually came and ate the treat out of my hand, and she's been so much more calm. And I think, to be honest, this reminds me a lot of how people work. Like, we're not just going to jump into things like this. This has been a long build-up, building up my confidence, building up my trust in myself, and just like she has, been cautious and, but with patience she's come through. It's the same with me, and I think that's the same with you as well. You just need to have patience with yourself and start trusting yourself again.